This image is absolutely absurd.
We got Disco Johnny.
Saturday Night Johnny.
Saturday Night Johnny. Dude, I love this. Look at the shoes, dude.
Dude, the shoes are amazing. I used to rock some Genkos that were that wide, but they were wide all the way up.
Some extra bonus ones here. You got Cowboy Sway, where I took a
You're
full
just
body
trying to,
shot of
you're
it.
trying on masks. You're trying on personalities,
I
right?
sure
Cowboy
am.
Sway.
I try to
Yep.
keep it fun and light, So really did a great job here. And if you look at the shirt design here, it's here. It did a
Yep.
really good job. Really good job. And it added a vest here on this one.
You make a great Cowboy Sway.
I do. If not a great narco, which I have played before.
I am surprised you trusted Catherine.
Another Augmented Imagination podcast. Because we're on our 11th, and I said I'll stop keeping count, but because we're on our 11th podcast, I'm going to do something special. I always like to wear something that stands out. Hold on, Johnny. You didn't
What do we
expect that.
got? What do we got? This is a surprise. I was not expecting this. Dude,
What do you think?
what do we got here?
This is something I picked up on Amazon. This is like what, a ski mask?
Yeah.
I love the colors. I love the threads over here. It remind me of my yarn piece.
You're going to get sweaty in there.
Oh yeah, I am. But let's see how long I can keep up with this.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I liked it. I picked it up. It only cost me $8, so why not? Sometimes you just gotta spend money just because.
Dude, it's
So,
crazy you just popped that out because I think it was from it was on my Instagram feed, but it was one of the big sort of art and design magazines, and they had a feature on these like beautifully sort of like embroidered textile ski masks. And here you are rocking one, Sway. So, dude, I
there you go,
absolutely
man.
love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fully endorse it. Get yourself one.
Yeah.
And
Dude, I've also we might have to move into create some augmented imagination merch out of this. I've had an idea for a long time to do some ski masks that sort of roll up into a beanie, but then they have designs on them, and then you would sort
dude,
of unroll it and it would reveal the rest of it. So maybe we need to make that happen.
yeah, well, this is the sign that you were looking for. It's already getting hot.
Well, it looks great, dude.
Yeah, this is even funnier.
I feel like we need to do some like real anonymous cyberpunk broadcast shit with you wearing that. So
Oh,
maybe
for
we do that.
sure. For sure, for sure. But anyways, wanted to show the people. I lasted what, like a minute with this thing?
Hey, it was worth it though.
That was
And
fun.
the hair still looks great afterwards. You got a little thread on your headphone there though. A little
There it
leave
is.
behind. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
tell me
just
about your thought process when you see that. You're just like, I just need it. I don't know what I need it for, but I need it.
I need it. I actually bought like two mannequins, two like head mannequins, and I have them. I have my luchador mask and my chicken mask there. I
Sick.
don't know. There's just something about like the something about mask. I'm attracted to mask, and
Interesting.
yeah, I just like the there's a word for it. It's just it. You see it in my work. At least I think you could see it in my work. The whole like enigmatic approach of not knowing something or not knowing the full details of a
Yeah.
person. Like I'm a bit, I'm gravitated towards that.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a fascinating topic, and you can really get into the sort of right the psyche of that and the different masks we wear and the different
oh,
personalities
for
we put
sure.
on. So it's sort of like a manifestation, a representation of that, like on a more physical level. So I think yeah, dude, that's a fascinating theme worth exploring. So
Yeah,
I want to see
yeah.
the Sway Molina mask drop because that could be really rad.
I'm gonna write that down.
There we go. We can 3D
Yeah.
print them too.
Oh, for sure.
Dude, you mentioned two head mannequins. Yvonne printed out that skull back there. We can
Dude, I love that skull.
get you one of those, and then you could have that to display all your different masks.
Send it to me along with the TV. I'm still waiting for that.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
still waiting
Okay,
for that.
I
Get
gotta
to
make a
it.
queue of print projects for Yvonne.
Yeah, and speaking of Yvonne, I mean, just the stuff that he's doing, for the studio, the film
Yeah,
studio that we're working with,
yeah.
amazing,
Dude,
amazing
speaking
stuff.
of that right is officially kind of live. The website's up, the Instagram's live. So maybe
Mhm.
this is a fun opportunity to formally announce it and talk a little bit more about it. I think Brian and BKO would be all right with that.
I think so. I think so. It's out. It's out. So Story First Studios, right? Founded by Brian McDonald and BKO. Brian
Alan
O'Connell.
O'Connell. You
Callan
got it. Good
O'Connell.
job. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
Brian Callan O'Connell.
I keep misspelling it. There's there's a lot of L's in there, and I've been adding extra L's or leaving off L's, but we're getting it all sorted. But two incredibly talented Brians that we're
Oh
stoked to be
yeah.
working with.
Very excited to be working with them. And finally, they dropped their first podcast episode. The website goes live, and the first podcast is with a special guest, an artist, Disney artist called Glenn Keane. I have not listened to it yet, but I am a fan of Glenn Keane, and it just so happens that my kids were watching his I don't know if his last movie, but the one that he directed is called Moon Knight, not Moon Knight. I think it's just Moon. Let me let me Google
There's a
that.
great sci-fi flick called Moon with Sam Rockwell, but I don't think that's it. If that is him, then I'm also a giant fan. Didn't realize it because I love that movie.
Yeah, I don't think that was him. Over the Moon. So Over the
Over the
Moon.
Moon.
Yeah, it's on either Disney or Netflix in one of those places, and I believe Disney, of course. And that's a film that he directed, and it was just fun to say. I was like, hey, to my kids and my wife, like, I know somebody that knows that
Cool,
person.
cool dad points for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, really exciting. Storyfirst.studio is the website you guys can check out. Brian's got Story First podcast going. Sway and I have been helping out, figuring out how to make films using AI, but with the level of sort of intention and attention that Brian McDonald, BKO, like this team of very high level people from Pixar, Lucas, Disney, like these guys have been to the top of the mountain, right? As far as like filmmaking. And I don't know how long ago it was now, 9 months ago, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Jesse Bryan had been like encouraging Brian McDonald. He's like, man, start your own studio. Now's the time. So it's happening. The first short is in production, and BKO did an absolutely incredible job on the storyboards. We've really been benefiting from like just being in the room with those guys and learning
Oh
like the
yeah.
craft of filmmaking. Yeah, we've got some like an animatic of the short, and even that will like make you tear up. So I think we've really got something, and so stoked to be a part of it.
Everyone has responded really well to the to the uh to the animatic, to the story reel. And the goal with this movie is to make AI and really just the tools in general, even the traditional filmmaking of it, from composing to how it's edited to how it's like composited, how it's designed, as like to make all of that invisible, right? So the like Johnny said, the attention to detail here is the story and will forever be the story no matter how advanced the technology is. There is, and we tell you from experience, because again, we've been with these guys for over like 9 months. Like it's never been what, oh, let's do something, let's focus on the spectacle, let's focus on this effect. And just the things that you see on X that everyone kind of like raves about. Oh, this tool can do this. They're like, we're not driven by that. We're driven by like what's the moral, what's the emotion, what's the armature, where are we going with this, what are we trying to say?
Yep.
And that in itself is always a challenge, right? Because now we have to make and bend the tools to serve the story. And
Yep.
that's a challenge accepted. And yeah, man, now's the time to do it. And I was looking for something here that Jesse sent me. It was a post where I read that where is it that he sent me? Like OpenAI is actually, here it is. OpenAI is helping make an AI generated feature length animated movie that will be released in theaters in 2026. So the
Wow.
film will be called Critters. Critters. You guys see an image of that, and it'll be debuted at Cannes Film Festival. Right.
Crazy. It's
So the
happening,
timing is
man.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. The whole industry, it feels like, and we've been talking about this with, our sort of AI community friends, that people who started out just as like hobbyists and figuring out AI filmmaking because they were interested in it and wanted to do it to sort of express themselves. It's like brands, production studios are coming knocking now. So it's the time to get in and learn these tools because uh, we're still very early on. And if you position yourself well right now, there's a lot of opportunities coming down the pipeline. And we're seeing it all around us in exciting ways.
Totally. And we're talking about it every single time. And we're going to
Yep.
talk about some of the tools that we're exploring and that we like to play around, dabble with. But the intention is never to be like on top of the latest tool. It's just like what tool is going to serve us, right? Like our workflow, and what tool also resonates with our community. I was really excited over the weekend watching an interview done by it's Bad Decision Studios, where they were interviewing Rosendahl. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right, but Ton is the OG founder of Blender. And there was a lot of questions about AI and when AI is coming to Blender, and my ears perked up. Right, he's a Ton. If you have to watch it, we'll provide a link. We'll probably even do like a reaction video. I sent you the video, Johnny, so we'll talk about that in a minute.
And then the other movement of AI researchers is the opposite. So they try to make sure that we, the people, the individuals, the small companies, that we also have access to a similar technology to help us, but it will be private and local. It will be yours. Just like that if you create a piece of art, you feel like
you own it.
My art, right?
Yes.
I can do with it. I can share it. I can keep it. I can put it in the bathroom. I can destroy it. But it's your stuff, and your workflow is your stuff, and not owned by
somebody else.
So that motion of that movement is important, and that is what we are going to embrace in Blender. But the direction that we want to go is clear, right? So we want to find out to work with AI research that is local and private and personal and really an artistic art control and not fake, as in what Autodesk and other people and Adobe and others are selling. They say, no, we're really not stealing. We really don't do it. We promise. Do you trust Adobe? Do you trust Autodesk? Right?
Ton is a really wise man, because if you watch the first 10 minutes of that interview, it resonated a lot with what we're trying to achieve with Think, with augmented imagination, and how we want really to put a tool out there and just let the community have at it and just let it grow organically, right? And that's exactly what he did with Blender. He built like this, creator ecosystem where everyone is benefiting. And it just makes sense to continue supporting Blender via donations, via just like using it and using it as part of your workflow, because you can do amazing things. We're using it in our production pipeline for the film that we're working on now.
Yep.
And that's really exciting. You saw the clip that I sent you, and Ton is talking about there is going to be a Blender AI integration, but I am waiting.
Yep.
I am waiting for the moment where AI can be private, local, and yours. What does that make you think of, John?
Ton, we got you, bro. It's called Supermodels. And that clip you sent again that we'll share is, dude, it's the perfect pitch. It's the perfect commercial. Even like the language he hits on, private, personal, local, like that's what we've been building towards. That's what we're all about. Uh, Dude, and it's so refreshing to hear from somebody at that level and somebody who's like gone in and done essentially what we want to do, but to see that like those same sort of values he holds dear, and that's what Blender used to get to where it is, and it built right this creator economy that sort of grew up around it. And that's absolutely the goal of what we're building here. And yeah, dude, he absolutely nailed it. That's 1,000% what we're doing with Supermodels, what we're doing with just the Think ecosystem overall, right? AI you own. Uh, and it's so refreshing to hear because it feels like we're just kind of out in the woods sometimes shouting in the dark when people are saying like, right, there's all these incredible tools launching all the time and all of these new capabilities, but they're missing these pieces. They're missing the private piece. They're missing the local piece. And that's really where like we're planting our flag. And it's okay if it takes a little bit longer for everybody else to get there, because they will get there eventually. And we're just going to be building platform and capabilities and tools for everybody once they kind of realize like, oh man, this sort of like, and we've talked about this. I'll get into this a little bit more when we talk about the supermodels updates. But people who are typically very resistant to AI are kind of like a little bit wary of it or leery of it. You tell them that it's personal, private, and local, and they're like, oh, that solves the issues I had with it. Like, it's just going to really open up the doors in another way and sort of make the tent bigger and sort of attract more people in, which is really exciting. But can't recommend that interview enough. And shout out Ton and Blender. Just awesome.
Yeah, and shout out to Bad Decision Studios too. Like these are two dudes that they're in my radar, and I always see them putting out amazing content on X, and especially on YouTube. They touch on a lot of Blender, a lot of like Unreal Engine stuff. So definitely on the post with like how AI is integrating in those tools as well. So really neat to see these guys interview him with such, youthful enthusiasm. It kind of reminds me of like of us and yeah, Ton is literally, hat tip, send him flowers. He played the long game. He played the long game. He's been doing this for years. I'm pretty sure he has received all sorts of offers from like investors and even Hollywood. But there's something that he says that really stood out. It's like, I don't want, how is it that he said it? I don't want,
I don't want Blender to be in Hollywood. I want Hollywood to be in Blender.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
if you're going to be part of our ecosystem, we're not going to do what you want. It's like we're all going to work together as a community to solve things together, and as it
Yep.
should be, right? So
Yep.
Blender is a 3D modeling tools for those who don't know, where you can do animation, 2D animation, like all sorts of like procedural kind of stuff.
Build
And
worlds. Yeah.
build worlds, characters, sketch, sculpt, even edit, composite, so many things that you can do, all for free, all for
Yep.
free. And the program is amazing. It's extremely fast. So really you can use it. It's for all sorts of people in any kind of level. Just learn the foundations, the basics, and you can do amazing things. I have, and people in architecture are using it. People in dentistry are using it. People
Yep.
like the stuff that Johnny has in the bag, that was done in Blender as well, 3D printing.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and my
3D
point
renter
is
to
that
3D print.
exactly, exactly. So my point is like one of the benefits of of having of investing in an open source ecosystem like Blender is that the money goes to the creators. I have literally, Johnny, and I'm not lying, I've bought so many courses because I believe in this product, and I've spent so much money, like really, like I think over $1,000 in tutorials and master classes and such on and different specialties, from like, animation to 3D modeling to like rigging and all that stuff because I want to learn everything. Um, but all that money that I spent goes out to like different creators and it's not going to like this one central place,
Yep.
right? And that's the sort of like community, and the open ecosystem that you and I and the people in Think believe in. So
Yep.
yeah, really excited for that. Really excited about, and glad that we can use them as a model.
100%, dude. Yeah, leading the way very well. And like you said, it's all about building an ecosystem that allows everybody to thrive, right? That's what decentralizing things is all about. Like, it's not funneling all of the resources up to somebody who holds all the cards. It's building a platform that'll increases the capabilities of every individual, and then like we can all sort of gather around that. So yeah, dude, we need it more than ever. So we got to keep going.
Yeah, because they're gonna need supermodels. We've been keeping you guys up to date with everything that's been happening. Um, every week has been like always and one step forward. And I think today we can do something unique. We can show you some like wireframes and some like concepts that we have that Johnny has for the front end for our tool. So this is going to
Yep.
be very different. So last episodes, and you can go back to our recordings or to our snippets. You'll see some of the progress that we've made with the prototypes and the data sets from Johnny's work, and the outputs we've been getting from that. But today here, you kind of have an inside look of how the face of supermodels is going to look like.
Yep.
What you got there,
Yeah.
Johnny?
So again, the goal for Sway and I, like with this podcast and just building supermodels and augmented imagination in general, is just to build in the open, kind of share our process, even though it might not be perfect. We're still figuring things out, but allow others to sort of take the journey with us, because man, we've got a lot of people coming up behind us with the Builders Club too, which is really exciting. We're trying to like formalize some of this stuff to set everybody up. But to that point, we wanted to just share again, looking at a high level of the product design, how we're thinking about things, how we're starting to wireframe things out, and move on to designing our sort of MVP beta product of Supermodel. So to give you a high level overview, these are the different kind of workflows we're thinking about within the app right now. There might be more, there might be less, but you got to start somewhere, right? And then you just start refining. So the main sort of workflows are organize and import, generate, tune, and connect. So we have kind of loose wireframes for each one of those. And I built these using, it's called UX AI Pilot. It's a plugin for Figma. You can also access it through their browser. It's really great. So I would essentially, I've got a Claude agent or project going for Supermodels, where everything I work on within Supermodels is contained within this chat. So it has all the context. It knows all about the product, all about the go-to-market, all about the business plan. So within that, I can also say, I want to build a prompt for UX AI Pilot for Supermodels. I want it to be the organize and import screen. This should be sort of inspired by Adobe Lightroom, which you can see I've got some sort of like references down here of just screenshots. And this is just sort of like a design dump file where I'm starting to gather all of these little pieces, and they'll sort of like dissipate out from there. But right, basically doing a high level description of what I want on the page, feed that into Claude. Claude then creates a prompt. I then put that into the UX AI Pilot. It generates this like in actual code, and like all of this is editable, which is just so rad. So we've got like our organize and import screen. This is where, right, say you've got a training set of your illustration style. You want to gather everything up into a folder. It'll just give you a high level view of like, you've got this many JPEGs, this many PNGs, show you various sizes. This is all kind of wish list stuff. It might give you some sort of quality assessment of like, okay, we've got enough training data to get your model up and running now. You can do some various settings from there. And then you essentially start training. After that, this would be sort of generating with it. And this is more, right, it'll be sort of a basic text to image a la Midjourney Create or sort of Crea image. you control kind of aspect ratio, give you 3 up, but this is mostly more tuning. So you could sort of generate within the product, see what kind of results you're getting from the model. And then from there, you could sort of fine tune. You could click on an image, you could see sort of the tagging that the model applied to it. Like, why did it make this image the way it sort of made it? And just give you a heads up view about sort of metadata for that generation in particular. This might change as well. Been thinking a lot about and talking about how you could more quickly automate the tuning process. If you think about, like, if anybody's familiar with like Midjourney and setting up like a personalized profile where it's just going to feed you a bunch of images, you kind of pick between the two and it's like thumbs up, thumbs down. So I think there's some sort of like automated tuning we can do just to get things performing the way you want. This would be almost like a dashboard for your model, where you would see, right? You would see kind of the signature style sample, where we want to do like versioning of the supermodel. So you can see kind of the version, how many generations you've done with it, the success rate. That would be sort of how often you like thumbs up. And then this is, again, sort of really exciting wish list stuff, but it looks like we're going to be able to pull all of this off, where you could almost have this sort of seed asset where you could set a color palette, you could set sort of brushes, you could set style characteristics, and then that would change your model overall. So it would change the performance. And again, me coming from a background of like brand design, I'm like, oh, this is the evolution of brand design. This is creating an intelligent brand, so you can do a lot with this. So it would have sort of all of that recent generations, but then it would also have sort of your API integrations right here. So you could connect this to Comfy UI, to Automatic 1111. And that's what we were saying, like, we're building in some sort of generation capabilities into Supermodels, but we're not trying to like reinvent the wheel and create this entire tool suite, at least not right now. We essentially want you to be able to create your model and then connect it to these real full feature tools so you could access image to image, sketch to image, all of this other stuff. And this would kind of be handled here. So yeah, that's kind of the model dashboard or connect. And then we've got this gallery, because the idea is people will not have just one supermodel. Like, you're going to want to have a bunch of supermodels for every distinct style you have. Maybe you're working on a film, an AI film, and you need a consistent character. You can build characters up around that. We're in talks with some of our friends who are sort of Web3 NFT artists about creating an NFT series that would be sort of combining multiple supermodels to create almost these sort of like different traits, right? And those would all sort of be randomized and mixed together in different ways. This would be where you could say, like, here's my foreground supermodel, here's my midground supermodel, here's my background supermodel. And then you can kind of mix all three of those. So again, like the possibilities are just kind of endless. Again, I have references here because, right, we're not reinventing the wheel. We're doing a lot of things that are available out there. But again, private, personal, like nobody else is going to have that the way Supermodels has that.
In the spaces, Jonny, just to double click on that, because I don't want to confuse people into thinking that we're trying to copy someone else's platform. We're taking inspiration, and we're also thinking about the user experience and what people are already used to today. But on the last spaces, I shared with the people something that really clicked for me, was that it's like, yes, I could take one drawing of, let's say, of my style and upload it to OpenAI and ask for it to make something, using that style. And it'll do an okay job. But in the spaces I use was an example of a picture of me. And this is something that most of you could relate to, because a lot of you have probably uploaded a picture of you and asked ChatGPT to turn you into a Ghibli. Like, yes, I've done that, a picture of me, maybe one picture, maybe another picture. But one thing that I have not done is upload my entire iCloud photo album into OpenAI. Why?
Yep.
Because I don't trust them. I don't want them
Yep.
to know. I don't want to dox myself. I don't want them scanning, my environment, my location, where I'm living, where my bathroom is, where my kids are, what school they're going to, because all
Yeah.
of that is my DNA, my privacy. So this is where our concentration is with supermodels. It's like
Yep.
when Johnny says visual DNA, guys, we're talking about like what's that? Was it 24andMe or my ancestry
Oh yeah, yeah.
DNA?
23andMe. Yeah,
23andMe is like that is literally what we're doing. We're taking a
dude.
blood sample of your creative
I love that.
DNA,
Yeah,
style DNA, and we're not keeping that info. We're not gonna sell it like those guys are
we're
doing
not
it, and
selling
God
it.
knows
This
what
isn't a
clones
data
they're
farming
doing of your
front.
right. We're not cloning your style. We're like, we don't even know how to access it. Eventually in that slide where Johnny has a collection of supermodels. Like eventually, like you decide from there what you want to do with it, whether you want to monetize of it or whether you want to have like a. I'm already thinking, man, this would be cool if we have like a chaperone supermodel. You're working with the client, you're building it for them, and then you send it off to them. Maybe you keep a royalty. We can. That's V2,
Yeah.
V3. But I'm thinking
Yep.
about all those possibilities, but really ownership, privacy. And with an option of either going local or using a cloud renderer of your choice. That
Yep.
is the way that we're going in full transparency. So, anyways,
Yep.
just wanted to double click on
No,
that.
dude, nailed it. I love the 23andMe analogy because we do talk about creative DNA, right? And when you're uploading your body of work, that's what you're giving up, right? So you're training a model on that, and we want to assure everybody that like that is yours. You own that. That's your IP. You should be able to create this custom model that then you can monetize, you can leverage any sort of way. And yeah, if you're working with brands and again, like I see this, I've got a lot of friends who are brand designers who had very successful studios with multiple right employees, and they're like struggling to just like keep above water freelancing for themselves now. But I'm like, go to your clients, say, I'm not only going to build you a brand, but I'm going to build you this AI model that you can very quickly create content and license that to them. Like that's such a game changer. And again, it's like it's rescuing the industry, it's evolving the industry in a way. And I've talked about this with like illustration work in my own kind of background where it's like the budgets just weren't there like they used to be. But if I can offer this sort of value, I can still leverage those skills, provide more value for my clients, and get some of those projects back. Because when you look at how compelling having like your own supermodel based on a brand will be, like they're not going to say no to that. So yeah, so many possibilities, so many capabilities. And again, it's all about empowering the individual creator and putting the power back in your hands, allowing you to benefit and profit from AI instead of it being this sort of extractive thing just for using it. So that's a look at that kind of high level wireframes and kind of product flow. And then this is how I like to work. Just do a bunch of research, get it all in sort of one canvas so you can take it all in. So thinking through like the actual functionality, appearance of the product, looking at some tools I like using and I think are like really intuitive and nice to use. Suno being sort of chief among those. Again, I really like just kind of like the dark mode, how sort of well organized all the different cards are, how easy it is to access everything. Kriya does a great job as well. Mid-Journey, of course, and looking at certain aspects of these products in particular, like mood boards, various styles, and then looking at some more kind of general design inspiration. So we always talk about, we sort of early on, we wanted to model ourselves after like a Braun meets sort of teenage engineering, this idea of kind of beautiful utility and putting controls in front of the creative so they can really sort of tweak things. And so, yeah, we've gone heavy on sort of the Dieter Rams and Braun inspiration. I found this amazing website where this guy built basically a bunch of components based on Dieter Rahm's design principles and Braun. So like there's an insane collection of buttons and sliders and knobs, and I think this is probably a little more photorealistic than we'll want to go. But again, just as an example, and I love seeing how they've sort of taken the design language of a physical product and applied it to a digital product. These are definitely things we're very interested in. This was a really cool site I referenced that just has like these incredible animations. I love the Swiss grid. I love the typography. So just pulling together a bunch of different inspiration, started to build sort of a high-level Supermodels design library with our headlines, our colors, our fonts, all of that stuff. So this is kind of early exploration of that, gathering up the sort of brand assets we have, right? And just getting all of this together in one sort of file. I love this sort of like diffused gradient. So playing around with how to integrate that into the product is almost like a pop color. And this is kind of where we're at. It's just sort of doing this kind of dump of everything, so you can just get everything in sort of one screen, look around, and then start to pull all the pieces together. But yeah, working on that. We're already trying to figure out how to build this thing so we could build really rapidly and scale really rapidly. So right now I'm actually working with my buddy Steven, who was like head product design at Headspace. He led the redesign of Levi's.com for Instrument, which is a massive kind of digital agency here in Portland. But I had reached out to him, just kind of picking his brain on this stuff. And this is so awesome about like our community and our friends, where they're just like, oh, dude, this sounds really interesting. I would love to help you kind of figure this out and lend my skill set to you. So Steven is helping me build a design library, a design system in Figma that the goal is to then plug into their AI tools, so we could rapidly sort of prototype the product. Very similar sort of process as you saw with the wireframes, but now it'll actually pull from the Supermodels brand using the proper color palette, using the proper fonts, and give us a starting point, and then we can kind of modify from there. So yeah, going heavy on the product design now and starting to like figure that stuff out, which is really fun.
Who's
that guy?
There's just something about boards and just being able to generate in this like open canvas and having access to like a selection of models. And there's something freeing about it and something chaotic as well. I'm not usually this organized. I have like generations everywhere and references everywhere, kind of like a mad scientist. But for presentation, I just want to show you guys like what's possible. And I know we touched on a little bit uh, on how this was done in the last podcast, but I just kind of want to show more examples of how we use, for example, our cap here, which you can actually purchase. You can find the link somewhere in here.
Sneaky
And
little link at the bottom of the landing page.
yeah. Just click there, if you want to support. And how I can take this real image of Jonny and just like, let me apply the wardrobe on top of
Yeah.
that. And they have a lot of neat tools here. I can create more variations if I want to of, either of this image over here. I have access to a bunch of little quick shortcuts if
awesome.
if I want to do some generative fill, if I want to generate or edit this image with like Flux or GPT or Nano Banana, aka Gemini 2.5. Tons of cool stuff here. And let's go back to this generation. If I click on load, it'll give me the history, the prompt history that I have here. Up here, it's kind of like some of the stuff that I've been working on. I'm going to show you right now.
Making some cowboys.
Making some cowboy sway coming soon. So here, they have like this color picker sample thing that I can use where I can go ahead and just kind of select what references I want to use. Boom, 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 and it sends it to the prompt box. And this is my model selection, which is kind of a big list. Really impressed.
Dude,
Really impressed.
I just want to double click on that really quickly too, because again, like we've been betting on, and it's right, it was already this way, but our big bet with our approach with supermodels is like, let's build this as a composable piece in the stack that you could plug in across all of these various tools instead of trying to
Yeah.
make this like centralized tool set. And the fact that like Adobe, who's super resistant to this stuff, has already integrated all of these different models so you can work with these different foundational models now is, man, such a massive win for us, and just shows that
Totally.
this entire industry is going to be sort of composable plug and play, and there's going to be all of these different components again in which supermodels slots into perfectly. So imagine like you have this, you choose your foundation model, but then you choose your LoRa
Yeah.
supermodel creative DNA on top of it. So it's like, not only can I have my style across like Comfy UI and everything else, but you could actually have it throughout Adobe now, and like massive, massive unlock. So
That's
so
huge.
stoked to see how this is developing.
That's huge. Yeah. And what we see right now here are the partner models, people that Adobe have partnered up with, but you that it's already available in their enterprise account where you can upload custom models. So I don't know if that means that you have to upgrade to an enterprise account and for you to have your supermodels there. But once the product is out, those are the things that we're going to start exploring. So you have access to all this stuff here that Google has done, that Gemini ideogram has done, which is great for text. Even Runway, it's in here, and you can come up with like you can quickly iterate and just flip models if you want to. Gives you this little warning that they're not gonna be, you can't hold them liable to any like not safe for work
Interesting.
kind of thing.
Flip models. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they're wiping their hands there, washing their hands.
Yep.
And I kept, exploring some more with other images. Took Elon there with his, and just swapped
I
his hat. I think he'll look better with with a supermodel's hat.
I
Um,
agree. I'm excited to see this orangutan over here. That's all I know, dude.
awesome, right? So, like, where did the chair
Yeah,
came from? Well, the chair came from the prompt itself. So let me load it. Create an ape with this wardrobe, and I use that as a reference down here, and I sample picked it up here. Denim jeans sitting on an elegant chair in an empty studio, full body shot using Nano Banana Gemini 2.5 Flash.
yeah.
And it
I
did
like
an amazing job.
he's rocking the sleeveless tee too. That seems fitting
Oh
for
man,
the
yeah, it did a great
orangutan.
job.
Yeah,
Totally. I just love his feet. I was
yeah,
like,
dude.
yeah.
Curled up. Again, the capabilities of this are insane, because I just did something similar for my Signal brand and made this cool little zine. Wanted to make my own little mock-ups, and it was so much work. I essentially had to train up a model. I was using blanks from this company, AS Color, and they had this awesome sort of image library that is just kind of open source and available for people to use, and they're all wearing blanks. So I had to essentially train up a mood board in Midjourney, or a model on all of those images, so I could get sort of people wearing blank clothes, and then I had to apply my style to that. I generated a bunch of stuff, downloaded it, and then mocked up my merch via Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator, and then sort of reran it. But
Oh my god.
again, dude, like, you just did that in kind of real time. And one of the things we always talk about is like, if the capabilities you are after don't exist this week, just give it a week and they'll probably be there. And this is the perfect example of that. And this is the perfect sort of way to
Yeah.
showcase the capabilities of these context aware models like Nano Banana, and I think Flux, right, is really well known for that, where it's like, dude, you could just select your design, select your pieces, and then throw your mock-ups on any model you want.
Yeah, and it's not that workflow that John just mentioned is going away. No, it's like now you just have more options, right? Say
Yep.
that AI is not generating, it does everything perfect. It has the hat in the right place, the brand in the right place, but the shirt is off. Well, you can turn the shirt into a blank shirt and go back to what worked for you before. you know,
Yep.
so like the best
Yep.
of both worlds. So
Yep.
and here
That
I took, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's one of the things that drives me crazy about like AI naysayers is like you'll do something and it'll be a little bit off and they'll be like, oh, it's not totally perfect. But I'm like, yeah, but it got you 90% of the way there. And now how easy is it to just like modify and change it? People have this idea where it's either like fully automated and you just push a button and everything comes out perfect, or it's like worthless. I'm like, no, it gets you so far of the way, so far along the way, and then you sort of adjust and refine and layer and
Of
tweak
course.
from there. Like you still like got to use the craft, got to,
Absolutely.
iterate on things, make them better. But yeah, sorry, just wanted to throw that out real quick.
So this is just another quick example here. I'm just gonna, quickly just go through these. How I took this this character and just picked these this high heel and dress from online and started generating, the same chair from that you saw with the ape. It's somewhere in here as well with this character, and the likeness of the character is pretty spot on.
Crazy, man.
So really, really impressed. I took here here's the
Yeah.
Harold. Harold. I took Harold, gave him an augmented imagination, and obviously a bit off, but I think it serves a purpose for this meme
Harold just
over here.
wears his hat in a weird way. Like that's kind of
It-
he doesn't know
it-
how to properly wear a hat.
yeah, yeah. So,
This
and
is a great
this,
dude. It nailed those.
yeah, and nailed it. And we grabbed these and turned it into a GIF, and really, really neat. And some extra bonus ones here. You got Cowboy Sway, where I took a full body shot of
You're
me.
trying on masks, you're trying on personalities,
I
right?
sure
Cowboy
am.
Sway.
I try to
Yep.
keep it fun and light, So really did a great job here. And if you look at the shirt design here, it's here. It did a
Yep.
really good job, and it added a vest here on this one. So really
You make
cool.
a
Again,
great Cowboy Sway.
I do. If not a great narco, which I have played before.
Dude, incredible. Oh, I saw
So
something real ridiculous over
oh
there.
yeah, I gave you a little sneak peek, but I can
Oh man.
keep iterating if I want to. So all I have to do is hit generate, right? So again, I click on the image, hit load, and it'll open up the prompt box again. It'll give me my prompt history. It shows me all my references. I have the option of going to video, and that'll give you like a bunch of list of different models that you can use, very similar to images. And I can generate, and the image won't pop up in the canvas. It will pop up over here in this little carousel that you have here, and then you can drag and drop, scale, close, you can gen fill, you can do all sorts of things. So again, it's an open canvas. You can have things everywhere or very centralized. It's really up to you and how you like working.
The Figma file I showed before that, like that's how I like to work, and just getting everything out on the canvas like this, so you can see the ridiculousness and be able to work with it. But it's such a better way to work as opposed to these like siloed off files, right? When like
Yeah.
Adobe figured out like these infinite kind of whiteboards and you can sort of have an expanding artboard and have a bunch of stuff on, that's when like things really unlocked. And it feels like they're figuring that out with Firefly now. And yeah, it's just it's a game changer. And this image is absolutely absurd.
We got Disco Johnny. Disco
Saturday Night
Johnny.
Johnny.
Saturday Night Johnny. Dude, I love this. Look at the shoes, dude.
Dude, the shoes are
Uh,
amazing.
um
I used to rock some Genkos that were that wide, but they were wide
Oh,
all the way up.
Genkos, man. I was never bold enough to try those, but I did have a buddy
Oh,
who
dude.
rocked them.
Yep.
Genkos. Wow. Yeah, so it's close to Halloween. I thought, yeah, why not? So most of you guys can start experimenting with different Halloween costumes and try them using AI before going to Party City or
That's a
Spirit.
great use case. Exactly, dude. Try it out first and then go and build your costume.
The quote of the week is, it's helpful to work as if the project you're engaged in is bigger than you.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah?
Dude, love that. And one of the key reasons I sort of love collaborating with other people, right? Because it is like you're coming together to serve this higher purpose that is the project. And the best stuff comes about when everybody says, I'm going to put aside my ego. It's not about me. It's not about maybe my exact vision for what it is. Everything is to kind of serve the project and make the project better. And ideally, you want the project to be something you hadn't have envisioned, to surprise you in certain ways, right? To kind of delight you in unexpected ways. And yeah, I think that's absolutely true. And that gets back to, right, the things we're doing with Story First and Brian McDonald and Jesse's sort of belief sessions, like having this higher purpose, this armature, this belief, this project, that everything sort of serves that, and it takes the identity, ego stuff, the mask of the individual creator sort of out of it, and like everybody just kind of contributing to this whole.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing when you take on that journey, that big challenging journey, at the end you're gonna look back and you're gonna be proud of yourself, right? You're gonna rise to the top with a whole new skill set, right? And I'm thinking about your experience this weekend, Johnny. You went camping and you said you had to walk like 7 miles. I'm pretty sure on like mile seven, you're like, how the heck did we even get here, right? At first it was
Yeah.
impossible. At first it was like, all right, here we go. But hours and hours later, I'm like, wow, we did it,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Step by step, that's the only way to do it. Step by step, brick by brick. Um, and that's what makes it all the more satisfying when you kind of look back on it. You're like, oh wow, like could never have sort of imagined this or seen this or envisioned this initially, but you just take it kind of piece by piece and keep going, and before you know it, you've got something really exciting.
Yep. Yep. Well, thanks for sharing that, Johnny. It's fun to see you here. You were missed last Friday. We had an amazing space. We had Phrase, we had Z, we had who are the big Macbeth, Patrick in there, and actually Macbeth said yes to being with us this Friday. So
Sick.
um yeah, we're
Shout
gonna
out
learn a little
Macbeth.
bit. Yeah, I didn't know that you guys actually met. He was
Yeah,
there.
had him
Yeah.
here at the studio for our little
So
AI meetup a couple weeks ago, and like really cool guy, really killer work, and yeah, dude, excited to get to know him more and chat some more. And bummed I missed the spaces, but stoked we have this amazing community and these amazing kind of friends and people in the team who just like can kind of fill in, and everybody has really interesting things to contribute, right, and insights to learn from. So it's good stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, those are the big challenges that we're taking, and I'm glad that we get to see the fruits of it all, the fruits of our labor, which is relationships and just progress with the product that we believe in, and we're talking about it in these spaces. We're connecting with people in the spaces, and we're dropping, and we just every time we get to drop and share something, about the podcast, about the progress we're making. I do it with excitement and joy, and I think that's almost evident, every time we chat, because this is an exciting journey. And I was looking at the mock-ups and the wireframe, and all that almost seems impossible. But knowing our trajectory, I was like, yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna
Yep.
get there. You just got to believe and trust the process,
Yep.
step by
And with
step.
AI, we'll get there sooner than we can imagine. So,
Oh,
uh,
absolutely.
pretty awesome to have.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for chatting with me, John.
Yeah. Another great one. Thanks everybody. We'll see you next
Peace.
time.